Good day, everyone, and welcome to Journey of the Anointed with Mr. Buzz. I want to talk about a topic I've touched on quite a few times before, overcoming sexual lust. And, well, it's not, I shouldn't say anything that's just for males. It's not ever just for males. The reason I mention that at all is because I am a male, so therefore I can give you a male perspective. Females go through the same exact thing, but where I'm not a female, I don't like to speak as much for females, so I'm going to stick to speaking for males. It's now been for me about, well, I guess 2 months since sexual release at all. That's quite a long time, and I feel like I've completely beat it in the way that I know I'm not going to give in this time. I'm just not going to. And it's not just about that I've solved it and the urge isn't there anymore. The urge is definitely there. Urge is always there. It never goes away. But I've learned to transmutate it, into other things. So this transmutation, this is an alchemical process. You take that sexual energy, which is very, very potent. It is the most potent energy on the earth, actually. It's the strongest of all. And you basically have to turn it into something useful. Now, for me, it's really the case that it's not useful as sexual energy. I'm single. The most I'd be doing is, well, going out and finding some meaningless one-night thing, which is really a bad idea. Because when you have, let's just talk about this for a second. When you have sexual relations with somebody, you are actually exchanging energies with that person and creating a bond that will last no matter what. There's a bond between you after you do that you can't break. You can't shake it. It's there no matter what. It's the reason that God insists we only do that in wedlock and just not any other way, period. Because you're going to create soul ties and stuff with people that you don't want. And they don't go away. Absolutely not. So when you marry somebody that's been promiscuous and has all these soul ties, you're jumping into a big mess yourself. You're getting into a whole bunch of, well, it's not a place you want to be. It's not good. Now, unfortunately, in the modern day, pretty much everybody, even when they're single, they might engage in one-night stands here and there. Let's face it, everyone gets horny. That's the way it is. And my cat's going to freak out now, of course. Everybody gets horny, and we solve the urge by going out and finding somebody to, take care of it for us. That is such a bad idea, now that I know. I did that most of my life, honestly. But I now know better. And for the last 2 months, every time the urge gets really bad, I just turn to something else that I know I can focus on. Music, making videos, whatever it might be. Lately it's been cleaning the house. I cleaned so much in the last few days, and I did it while I was feeling terrible. I had a headache and everything the whole time I was doing it, but even when I have the headache and I feel terrible, the sexual urge gets so strong, that never goes away. It's been years and years, right? I haven't been with anybody in a long time. So the urge gets so strong, it's actually overwhelming. But when I focus on something like cleaning the house, it's become a real important thing to me now. I'm cleaning places that haven't been cleaned in this house in years. Like I've cleaned the house myself, but I'm really cleaning this time. I'm getting into places where I never even thought to clean before. So, transmutating that energy into another type is not that hard. You just have to engage in the other activity that you want to do, and that energy will go into that. I mean, I get into the cleaning so much, 3-4 hours into it, I'm like, how long have I been at this? And I look at the clock, and it's like 3.5 hours has gone by. Wow. But the place looks awesome. I mean, the place looks just... If I was to have a woman in here right now, she'd come in and she'd be like, wow, you you take care of your place, that's pretty good. And I always have, but not to this extent. I mean, when the landlord comes in next time, he's going to be shocked. I mean, I even took the buttons off the stove and put them in hot soapy water and scrubbed them with a scrubby and stuff. I mean, I went all out. There's more to do. It's probably going to take me another week, but I'm going to do it. I've decided I'm going to... I mean, I washed down the cupboards. I washed the walls. I washed everything I can think of. I really did a thorough job. Gonna do more. I do like the way it looks, though, and I like the way it smells. It's just so nice in here. And you don't even realize how dirty a place really gets if you don't... Like, how often do you look for cobwebs up in the corners, right? You don't, and you don't see them from down here. But when you get up close, you get on a ladder and look up there, and wow, what you find is quite amazing. So, that's what I've been doing. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, I suppose, but I wanted to do something productive that would keep my mind off of not only the way I felt, but off of the urge for sexual release, because it's just overwhelming sometimes. Also, I recommend strongly avoid things that are going to make it worse. Like, you know, if there's a show that's got really attractive people on it, and you like to watch that show, but every time you watch that show, you end up getting 10 times hornier because you're attracted to the people in the show, right? Don't watch that. Just stay away from it. If you're in a town like me, like the one I'm in, especially in the summertime, you don't want to go walking around downtown, and if you're having a hard time with that, this is a bad town. It's a college town. It's two things, actually, a college town and a prison town. There's a lot of prisons here. And people even, they move here to get jobs at the prisons, like prison guards and stuff like that. And the university here, it's Queen's University. It's a big university, big prestigious university. And it is so full of beautiful women, it would just blow your mind. You don't want to walk around down by Queen's University. So, it's very important to master this. Given into it, well, it's just not an option if you want to get anywhere spiritually. If you're just releasing all the time and depleting yourself, you're basically draining yourself of your power. This is where your power comes from. Okay? Let's say a exorcist, someone who exorcises people and gets demons out of them. Guaranteed, that exorcist is taking every bit of sexual energy he can and transmutating it into exorcist power. That's what it'll turn into. If he depletes himself, I bet you if you're a real exorcist, you probably have to be celibate. I bet you that's a requirement. If you were just, I mean, even if you were married and stuff, making love with your wife, you're depleting yourself. That's not going to be good for fighting demons. You need to be powerful to fight them. So, yes, you have authority, but you also, that demon's going to fight back somewhat, and exorcists get thrown around like rag dolls sometimes. And I'd want to be celibate, and I'd want all my energy transmutated into, spiritual power. Then bring on the demons. We'll fight them that way, but don't deplete yourself and then go fighting a demon. That's going to leave you... Your sexual energy is your biggest source of power, definitely. So, there's no easy way to avoid, there's no easy way to master not masturbating or whatever. You have to have some self-control, you have to have some willpower, you have to care about it. You have to understand what it is you're trying to do. Once you understand how important it is, it makes it easier. That's another thing, is learn more about this. Learn what the consequences are of not doing what I suggest. Now, I've done both in my life. I've tried this before, actually. This isn't the first time. I've even gone longer than this before. So I'm about 2 months right now, maybe a little longer, 2.5 possibly. But every other time I did it, it was kind of an experiment to see what would happen. This time, it's a life change. Like, I've made this decision. Unless the Lord decides I should be married again, which I don't know if he's going to or not. If he decides I should be married again, okay, then that'll be part of my life again. If he doesn't decide I should be married again, then that's not part of my life. And my sexual energy is going to be transmutated into something else. I won't be just spewing it all over the place, that's for sure. Not going to happen. Will that be easy? Easier now than ever before, because I really want to do it, and I understand why I have to do it. And I'm tired of getting my butt kicked by the Lord for not doing things. To be honest, he's been a little harsher in his teaching with me the last while. And I'm kind of grateful for that, actually, because maybe you're the type of person that, like me, that needs that to really get it going. That's the way I am. If the Lord was lenient, that wouldn't be helpful. And he's not, I'll tell you that. He has grace, but he's not really lenient. There's certain things he just doesn't compromise on, and he demands. And this is one of them. Now, I was talking to my friend the other night who's just discovered he's an anointed one. And he was fine with, I was like, man, you're going to have to start eating really well, and, give up this, and you're going to have to cure any addictions you got. Actually, he's in good shape there, except for he had one addiction, and it's not the end of the world to get rid of. He'll be fine. He was fine until I said, and no sex. And he went, whoa. Whoa, what do you mean, no sex? I said, well, you're not married. So, no sex. And he said, no, he didn't like the sound of that. Well, ask the Lord, and he's going to tell you the same thing. So, this one is not negotiable. I know it, for sure. If you want to please the Lord, you've got to do this. You've got to do it. So, for the anointed ones, there's no choice. You've got to do this. If you're not an anointed one, well, he still wants you to do it. But, I don't know, you might get different leniency. I know the anointed ones don't have any leniency here. You got to do this. You got to do this. Because there's a lot of benefits and rewards that come with being one of the anointed, and certain responsibilities and things that he demands that you have to do in order to receive those rewards and privileges. So, this is one of them. And I do like being super powerful, like this makes you. It's made me extremely powerful. in a spiritual sense, right? And that's what it's all about, because our lives are spiritual lives. Not, yes, we're in physical bodies. It's a physical experience we're having down here, but the important part of it is still spiritual. That's where the important stuff is. The important stuff isn't material wealth or any of those things. It's how far you advance spiritually. And I'll talk about that in another video. I'm going to do an ascension, which I'm learning more about as I ascend. That's the reason I've had this headache and had all this trouble the last couple of weeks. It's all due to ascension, which is another reason I need to resist the sexual urge, because I'm ascending and that power is very necessary right now. So I will leave it there. If you have any questions or anything, you can drop them in the comments. Hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Remember that Jesus Christ is the King of all kings.